What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the SevereMMA podcast here, and I'm joined by Rhys McKee, a very special guest, as he makes his UFC debut today, the morning of his UFC debut, and he's joining me here on the podcast. Rhys, thanks very much for joining me. How are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, it's a good morning. It's probably one of the best days of my life. It's very exciting. As you said, it is morning here, so it's a bit different. I know back home it's kind of coming in the night. It'll be a nighttime fight. For here it's a morning fight, so it's good. It's weird, but
Yeah, just started pissing rain right outside my window here, so I'm sure it's better over there.
uh,
The first thing I wanted to ask you about this, I saw Joe McColgan putting up a post the other day saying that you had never been to a UFC event. You know, Norman obviously fought in the UFC and a few more people as well, and you never went to a UFC event. What was your thought process behind that? Because things like that I find unbelievably fascinating.
yeah, like I was offered many a free ticket to the Belfast show when they were here, and it's just, for me, I've always wanted the first UFC experience to be my own. I've never wore the hoodie, never wore the t-shirts, never tried the gloves on when Norman got them, and for me, it is really just to make this week so special and make it as good as it's been. I know the first time I put them gloves on was the first time I put them on, and so it's exciting. I've earned every bit of it, and I felt to keep it special. That was why.
Mm-hmm. We talked on the podcast a lot about you and the level of kind of comfort you have in the cage. But maybe we get to that in a second. But we talk about the cage warriors way coming through, and similar sort of cage, similar sort of maybe setup and stuff. Is there any worry that like not having that experience would be a bit of an issue? Or do you think the cage warriors way is setting you up very well for making your UFC debut?
I tell you what, I've been saying to the boys all week. It feels no different till a normal Cage Warriors event. Obviously, you have nicer stuff done for you, a few more perks, all the good stuff. But I mean, black and white, it's exactly like a Cage Warriors show, and the feeling I have when I go to sleep is the exact same I have when a Cage Warriors fight. So, it's all very relatable, and I just know I'm at home now, and I'm really here at the party where I deserve to be.
Obviously, it's kind of odd to talk to someone on the morning of their fight. Usually when we're doing interviews, we do it at the start of the week or in the middle of the week. I saw you yesterday on Instagram. You're all wires and things on your fingers and everything like that. This week, I suppose, for everyone, obviously it's a lot different for you because it's the whole coronavirus thing and making your UFC debut. How much stuff did you have to do between, say, arriving in Abu Dhabi and where you are right now?
Well, even like the stuff I got the call on Saturday night, and the minute I got the call, we were on the phone to like private clinics in Belfast trying to get booked in for like as soon as possible. So the amount done, one shows the level how much we wanted the fight, but also shows the level of the UFC, the speed they got this paperwork through, even to the private clinics they were in contact with straight away. Like and if people doubt the UFC are the best in the world, then I could have a lot of evidence to back up why they are.
Mm-hmm. 100%. And like for you, the testing and everything like that. So you got tested before you left, arrived over there, got tested again. Was it as safe as it looks to all of us looking from the outside?
Safer.
Mm-hmm.
I've been tested 4 times, 5 times maybe. I think I've won. I don't know if I've one more to do. This time, anybody in a biohazard suit, trust them and say, "Oh, go ahead."
Sticking up my nose there, I'll be fine.
Yeah, cool.
So.
No, everything has been looked after. There's nothing getting through the crooks and crannies here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no acts. There's no off for the UFC, and it's really phenomenal to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to Graham the other day, and I think Andrew McGahan kind of put out stuff and things talking about kind of your rise, and you're obviously on SevereMMA. We've seen you, Andrew, interviewed as an amateur. I put up the video yesterday. You fighting Valdram Lubashanti as an amateur. Like, we talk an awful lot about fighters these days coming through and maybe only having like 3 or 4 fights and getting to either a Bellator. We've seen Richie Small, who you fought, kind of getting to the UFC maybe a little bit earlier and stuff. How big is that, having good guys like that? You fought Richie Small as an amateur as well, I believe, and Valdram, and then Richie again, and all good guys coming up. John Redmond in your UFC or in your MMA debut. Sorry. How big is that for you, do you think, to get to where you are today, to have that such a tough build up in your career?
Yes, it's perfect. But again, it's why I'm not here on who I know, or on false wins, or I've earned every win of my career. I do have blemishes in my career. I have losses in my career because I've fought the best guys. I've never. It's a fact I've never said no to a fight, and again this weekend I think is just another testament of not saying no and just being ready. And yeah, I think tonight is all going to show. that I'm the real deal.
That John Redmond fight, because I remember we were talking about it on the podcast at the time. We're like, this is a bad idea. He's gone up 2 weight classes, fighting an experienced guy, and obviously you went out there and proved the doubter like me wrong at the time and everyone else. I know it's obviously a very different sort of level and a very different time, but does something like that prepare you for something like this?
The foundations are the same, the amount of times I've been told in my career, it's too much for Rhys. This guy's too big. He's too this. He's too fast. I've heard it all. Trust me. Like there's not much that can faze me now. And it absolutely does prepare. And as you said, yes, it's a different platform and a different level, but the foundations of the statement are the same. And tonight's just another chance to spoil the party.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. I think a lot of people around here are looking forward to it. What's your preparation been like? I know Norman obviously fought, last week or not too long ago anyway, and he's been training around the place. Have you been training? What's the crack? Has the gym been open, or what kind of preparation have you been able to get before this fight? I know it's only on 6 days notice, but before that even.
Yeah, the gym hasn't been opened. It's only been private access. So for the likes of myself and Norman and Rodney and a few close circuit boys. So we were putting work in, we're definitely fit and ready and fight ready. So the last 6 days have been more taking care of medical stuff and staying sharp, workouts here and there, and getting in what we can. But no, listen, I'm definitely coming in here ready, and an excuse you would never hear from me anyway at any time in the life would be, I wasn't ready, I was unfit. I'm always fit, I'm always ready. So that will show tonight.
Yeah, like we did the Zoom there. What was it? I suppose it was a month ago at this stage now, and you were saying like, if there's a fight coming up, I'll take it straight away. I'm ready the whole time. Like, was that kind of talk in the background? I know when Graham Byland, that great video came out of him ringing you on the phone. Like, was there a kind of a talk in the background all the time? Like, I'm going to get to the UFC? Because like for me and a lot of people, it kind of maybe took us a little bit by shock, because we thought you were going to get the Cage Warriors title if you won that, then onto the UFC. Now it came as a little bit of a shock. Was it a shock for you completely? Well, on the video it looked like a bit of a shock, but was there talk of it behind the scenes before that?
No, there was never any mention of it. Never any mention of Fight Island. I knew, I seen the patterns that were coming out of the UFC. They were signing some guys that probably wouldn't have got the call on a normal time, and I kind of knew to be ready. Like, and I'm not saying that in disrespect to those guys, because they've earned their shot too. But I just knew there was a chance. Like, fighters are needed now more than ever, and I made sure I was ready. And when that call came, it was as real as it gets. That is not a pre-scripted call, or else my eyes wouldn't have been water. Trust me.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I love those Graham Byland calls. It's one of the best things he always does. I want to ask you about Shimev, because a lot of people, like I was looking at your odds today. You're 7-1 to win the fight. I think yesterday you were 17-1 to win by KO. And for maybe people like me and other people who've been watching you for a good amount of time and seen the knockout power you have and the improvements you've made, that's a bit crazy, and I think a lot of people are kind of lumping on as well. When you said there earlier on that people are kind of used to, or you're used to people writing you off. When you see things like that, what's going through your head?
Yeah, I get their point. They haven't seen me in the UFC yet. He fought 10 days ago. I mean, if the hype was in me, I'd be confused. He's already fought here. For me, it's an opportunity. It's a beautiful opportunity to take his hype train and put it onto my railway. So. Yeah, I don't look into that stuff too much. Again, I'm not fighting the Twitter trolls. I'm fighting him. And I'll go out there and give it a hell of a go, and you'll see what will happen. But the people who know me and have seen me fight live, they know it's not a 17-1 chance. They know it's a real chance.
Yeah, 100%. I remember we did a podcast after one of your fights. I think it was 2 or 3 fights ago, and we talked about your levels of comfort in the cage. And it's, you see guys going in and having dominant performances or beating guys up or whatever, but you rarely see the likes of the comfort you have in the cage, of like just kind of gliding around the place and throwing all your shots. You often see guys like, not throwing their shots or not letting their hands go, and you never really seem to have that problem, especially in the last few fights. Like, what is it in you? Is it just, do you think it's just a mental thing or something like that you've always kind of, or well, you've obviously developed that, but you've developed an ability to just do that, to be so comfortable in the cage? Because that's not something that's normal, like, most people don't have that.
Yeah, no, I just believe, as I got that bit older, like the maturity's starting to shine. Maturity's starting to shine through now. So no, I just feel totally at ease in there, and it doesn't matter what platform or what stage it is. I know it's where I'm meant to be.
Last thing here, Rhys, because I don't want to keep you that long. Obviously, I really, really appreciate the time in your fucking morning, the UFC debut. It's fair play to you, but Joseph Duffy retired last week. Conor McGregor retired a couple of months ago, I suppose, at this stage. So you're the only man in the UFC right now active. What or the only Irish man in the UFC? Sorry. What does that mean to you? You've come up through the Irish scene, fighting up north and down south as well. What does it mean to you to be representing the Irish people as the only Irishman in the UFC right now?
Yeah, it's special. It's a special moment, and I believe I'm going to change the whole platform for Irish MMA. I'm bringing something different to the party. I'm not going to be your typical trash talker and stuff like that, but I'm still going to put people to sleep. And that's what people want. They want someone, a real representation of the countries, and I'm up for being that guy. And again, I'm just being real.
Rhys, I really appreciate the time. Thanks very much. I know everyone in Irish MMA, we were not supposed to be behind you, but fuck, we're behind you anyway. I hope you win tonight. Best of luck, and thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Rhys.